Girivaradari Yasodanandana Bhajana Ranjana Yadana Yasodanandana Bhajana Ranjana Yadana Yamunadira Vanachari Yamunadira Yamunadira Vanachari Yamunadira Yamunadira Vanachari Yamunadira Jai Mr. Madhvan Mangas of Vijaya Dasa Sri Shishimad, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhakti Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Anantagata Vaishnava Ki Jai, Namacharya, Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Names the Host, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sarvakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shivandavanam Ki Jai, Shimaya Purnavadam Ki Jai, Gangamaya Ki Jai, Jamunamaya Ki Jai, Tosadevi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Sombeda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, Hariram Sankirtan Ki Jai, Go Premanandi. How glorious some devotees, how glorious some devotees, how glorious some devotees, how glorious Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. So this thing is supposed to be tilted like that, huh? Oh, I was thinking, it doesn't. Because usually when it's like that, you could bend it back, but it's not even bending back. But it still works. Somehow. It still works. Huh? Uh-huh. I mean, they must have, it's not a flimsy thing. I mean, you had to really put some strength in it to bend it like that, huh? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This morning we're reading from the srimadbhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 20, text number 28. Jagaj Jananyam Jagat Isha Vaisasam Syad Eva Yat Karmani Na Sanihitam Karoshi Fagu Api Uru Dinavatsala Sva Eva Disnye Biratasya King Taya Jagat Jananyam Jagat Isha Vaisasam Asyat Eva Yat Karmani Nasamihitam Karosi Vaga Yurudhina Vatsala Sva Eva Disye Bharatasya Kintaya Jagat Jananyam Jagat Isha Vaisasam Asyad Eva Yat Karmani Nasamihitam Karosi Vaga Yurudhina Vatsala Saeva Nisye Bharatasya Kintaya Jagat Jananyam Jagadisha Vaisasam Syadeva Yat Karmani samihitam Kurosi bhagav yurudina vatsala Svaiva nisyen virtasya kim daya Yurjanyam Dividisisam Shareva Yadkarmani Nasamihitam Kurosi Bhagav Yudina Vatsala Shareva Nisyevarat Sikim Daya Jagadjananyam Dividisya Vaisasam Sudeva Yadkarmani Nasamihitam Karosi Bhagam Yudina Vatsala Sudeva Dasyeva Tashikim Daya Jananyam Jagadisha Vaisasam Sareva Yadkarmani Nasamihitam Karosi Bhagam Yudina Vatsala Sareva Dasyeva Tashikim Saya Jagat Jananyam. In the mother of the universe, Lakshmi, Jagat Isha, O Lord of the universe, Vaisasam, anger, Syat, may arise, Eva, certainly, Yad Karmani, in whose activity, Na, my, Samihitam, desire, Kuroshi, you consider, Falgu, insignificant, service, Api, even, Uru, very great, Dinavatsala, favorably inclined to the poor, Svei, own, Eva, certainly, Disye, in your opulence, Advitasya, of one who is fully satisfied, Kim, what need is there, Taya, with her. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear Lord of the universe, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, is the mother of the universe. And yet I think that she may be angry with me because of my intruding upon her service and acting on that very platform to which she is so much attached. Yet I am hopeful that even though there is some misunderstanding, you will take my part, for you are very much inclined to the poor, and do always magnify even insignificant service unto you. Therefore, even though she becomes angry, I think that there is no harm for you, because you are self-sufficient, because you are so self-sufficient that you can do without her. Pretty amazing verse. This is a... huh? Yeah, Prita Maharaj. Yeah. So let's see what Prabhupada says here with this interesting verse. Mother Lakshmi, the the goddess of fortune, is well known for always massaging the lotus feet of Lord Narayan. She is an ideal wife because she takes care of Lord Narayan in every detail. She takes care not only of his lotus feet, but of the household affairs of the Lord as well. She cooks very nice foods for him, fans him while he eats, smooths sandalwood pulp on his face, and sets his bed and sitting places in the right order. It's also described that they clean the house, dusting, but there's no dirt. They're cleaning, but there's no dirt, but they're cleaning. Very enthusiastic to serve. In this way, she is always engaged in the service of the Lord, and there is hardly any opportunity for any other devotee to intrude upon his daily activities. Prithu Maharaj was therefore almost certain that his intrusion into the service of the goddess of fortune would irritate her and cause her to become angry with him. But why should Mother Lakshmi, the mother of the universe, be angry with an insignificant devotee like Prithu Maharaj? All this was not very likely. Yet Prithu Maharaj, just for his personal protection, appealed to the Lord to take his part. Prithu Maharaj was engaged in performing the ordinary Vedic rituals and sacrifices according to karma kanda, or fruit of activities. But the Lord, being so kind and magnanimous, was ready to award Prithu Maharaj the highest perfectional stage of life, namely devotional service. When a person performs Vedic rituals and sacrifices, he does so to elevate himself to the heavenly planets. No one can become qualified to go back home, back to Godhead, by means of such sacrifices. But the Lord is so kind that he accepts a little insignificant service, and therefore it is stated in the Vishnu Purana that by following the principles of Varnashram Dharma, one can satisfy the Supreme Lord. When the Lord is satisfied, the performer of sacrifice is elevated to the platform of devotional service. Prithu Maharaj therefore expected that his insignificant service to the Lord would be accepted by him as being greater than that of Lakshmi ji. Interesting, huh? The goddess of fortune is called Chanchala. What does Chanchala mean? Yeah, restless. Because she is very restless and is always coming and going. So Prithu Maharaj indicated that even though she might go away out of anger, there would be no harm for Lord Vishnu because he is self-sufficient and can do anything and everything without the help of Lakshmi ji. So he's saying that by his serving Vishnu, Lakshmi is going to get upset and angry and go away, but it's okay because you're self-satisfied. You don't need her anyway. Pretty amazing pastime here, huh? For example, when Garbhodakshai Vishnu begot Lord Brahma from his navel, he did not take any help from Lakshmiji, who was just sitting by him and massaging his lotus feet. Generally, if a son is to be begotten, the husband impregnates the wife, and in due course of time, the son is born. But in the case of Lord Brahma's birth, Garbhodakshai Vishnu did not impregnate Lakshmiji. Being self-sufficient, the Lord begot Brahma from his own navel. Therefore, Prithu Maharaj was confident that even if the goddess of fortune became angry with him, there would be no harm, neither to the Lord nor to himself. Om Jnanatimarandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshuru Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Gotava Chalang Pangam Manghayate Gurim Yat Kripa Taraham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Vanchikapatubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So generally we hear that in the spiritual world there's no envy. Right? But you know that pastime where Krishna killed that demon, I think Sankachuta, right? And he took the conch shell, right? But who did he give it to? Balaram. Gave it to Balaram. Now all the gopis were there, but he thought, but if I give it to one of the gopis, the others are going to be envious. It's even mentioned in the Krishna book. That's why he gave it to Balaram. So it appears like there's transcendental envy. It's kind of inconceivable. Yeah. And therefore, from envy comes anger. So Prita Maharaj was a little concerned that she might become angry. So there's transcendental anger. Just like in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Pandavas, they were fighting. They weren't peaceful. They were angry. They were, you got to fight. There's got to be some anger there. So there's also transcendental anger, like Hanuman. This rascal took Sita. Ravana took Sita, and Ram was upset. And Hanuman was described, he's the greatest devotee, he's the best servant. So he was angry. So he found Sita, and in his anger he decided to destroy the city of Lanka. Now he's the best servant of Ram, but in his anger he destroyed a whole city in all humility. Because he was the best servant. So this is his service, is to chastise this rascal. It's like Prabhupada said that the duty of our Bhaktivedanta scientists is to kick in the head the material scientist. And he said the more you do, the more you'll advance in Krishna consciousness. It's like they have this evolution theory, but there's missing links, right? Actually, there's thousands of missing links. And Prabhupada said the missing link is my boot on their head. So Prabhupada, he would get so angry. These demons are misleading. Millions of people in the universe. You got to study this garbage. The Big Bang theory and this theory and that theory. Prabhupada says in one purport that the modern scientists, they have lost their brain work due to accepting the theory of uncertainty. The brain is not working anymore. They've lost their brain work due to accepting the theory of uncertainty. Perhaps, maybe, these are very common words in the science field. Perhaps, maybe. So Prabhupada would get very angry. Because they're misleading people so much. So, but we hear that a devotee is free of anger. Vacho vegam manasakroda vegam jiva vegam urupasta vegam. Etan vegam yo vasahetadira sarvam epimam pitivingsa sisyat. That one who is free of this, these pushings, vacho vegam, who's free of the anger, vacho vegam manaso, the tendency or the what is it? The actions of the mind, the anger, tongue, belly, and genitals. Such a person is qualified to inherit or to accept disciples all over the world by controlling these urgings. The urge to speak. Just like sometimes something might happen to someone and they get angry and they want to say something to them. Retaliate. But a devotee is controlled tongue. And then one purport Prabhupada says, better to tolerate than to protest. Generally the tendency is, because the anger gets so big, we protest, we say something. And then it becomes more and more heated. Better to tolerate. I've seen on book distribution sometimes devotees would encounter someone that says something, smarts off to the devotee, and the devotee smarts off back to him. And sometimes even there's been violence, due to not being tolerant. Actually, book distribution is a very nice service because it for one reason, it helps us to develop these qualities. You go on book distribution, you get a lot of no's. This is the most difficult thing to tolerate, is the no's, because we don't want rejection. We want everybody to say yes and give a nice donation, right? Wouldn't that be nice? Everybody we approach, everybody gives a nice donation, takes a book, and they walk away with a great impression. Wouldn't that be nice, huh? It doesn't happen. But if that were the case, then we wouldn't be able to develop tolerance. We'd probably get proud. Just see how good I am. Everybody's taking a book. No one's saying no. Right? We'd probably get proud. But we get a lot of rejection, a lot of no, so that's good. And therefore, we when they say no, we thank them still. Well, thank you. Because they're helping us to develop tolerance. Tolerance is such a big quality, such an important quality. Tanadapi sunichena, tarorapi sihistana, amanina manina kirtaniya sadahari. In the Shikshashtaka, Lord Chaitanya, he says that one should think oneself lower than the straw on the street, more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others without desiring respect for oneself. In such a state of mind, we chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. It's like I travel around the world and I give seminars and distribute books and give classes and the tendency is there to become proud. You get a position, become proud. But then you go on book distribution. You go out there, you're just nothing. You're just another guy on the street. They just kind of more or less walk all over you. And you got to be tolerant. So it's good. It's very good. You see, Ganapati Maharaj, he's an unsung hero in our society. He's been distributing books for, 45 years. Very few devotees even heard of him. Is it? Oh, really? Oh, nice. Yeah, it's one of his Prabhupada Deshas. The mom. She read it too, huh? Oh, good. Yeah, so he told me one time, he said, actually all the leaders who go on a book distribution, because this checks that pride. GBCs, ministers, presidents, everybody should go out, because you get a position, then it's natural. It's just a natural thing. You get kind of goes to the head. So this book distribution, it's a great benediction for those who go out, and for the people who receive the books. Very auspicious. Yeah. And sometimes one may even become angry, but we control ourselves. Of course, sometimes someone may blaspheme Krishna or Prabhupada, then we become angry. And not that we shouldn't argue with them, or just better just leave. Yeah, if someone blasphemes, because if one hears offenses to Krishna or the devotee, it can disturb our spiritual life. Unless it's described, unless one can defeat him. There's 3 different things you can do. You can defeat him, you just leave, or you cut out his tongue. So that one's not allowed. And then it's even described, then you give up your own life. So to hear blasphemy is very dangerous. So the best thing to do is just leave immediately. Unless one can defeat him. But generally, it gets into heated discussion, and because people don't accept defeat nowadays. In India, if one is defeated, then they accept you as guru. Okay, you defeated me, you're my guru. That was the system. But in the West now, you defeat someone, they don't accept even though you defeated, they don't accept it. Even if they do accept they've been defeated, they just go on their, proud way. So better just not waste time. So I remember there was one instance where there was a devotee distributing books, and he wasn't very good at it. So he wrote a letter to Prabhupada, and he said, Prabhupada, I'm distributing books with other devotees and they're doing so much better than me, and I'm feeling some envy. I'm feeling envious of them. What should I do? So Prabhupada wrote back, interesting letter, it's a famous letter. He said, actually you're not envious of them. This is just another way of your showing your appreciation for your godbrother's distribution of books. Interesting. He's a realized devotee. His name is Dharma Das. He's in Miami. He's been the head pujari there for the past, almost 40 years. Yeah. Pretty amazing devotee. So this is Prabhupada's response. He just took that as a way that you're just showing your appreciation for your godbrother's service in book distribution. So here in this verse, Prita Maharaj, he's praying for protection because the goddess of fortune gets angry for taking her service. You could be in a pretty awkward situation there. Yes, it's described, she's the mother of the universe. Yeah. Vishnu is the father of the universe. He's Jagadish, the Lord of the universe. So she's the goddess of fortune. She's the goddess of the universe. Powerful personality. You don't want to get on the wrong side of the goddess of fortune. So he's praying for protection. And this is one of the symptoms, or one of the types of surrender to Krishna. Anukoyasha sankalpa, pratikoyasha varjana, rakshishititi vishvasha, goptrute sarnanyata. That to accept things favorable for devotional service. Prabhupada said that whatever we find, that is favorable for devotional service, immediately we should accept. And anything that is unfavorable, immediately reject. So we're in Maya's kingdom, there's a lot of things that we have to reject. especially now with these devices. The whole world of Maya is in our hand. The phones and iPads and computers and so we had to be very careful in dealing with these modern devices. Many devotees have become bewildered because of going in the wrong place in these devices. There's so much Krishna conscious material, just like we have Dandavats. So many nice articles are there. We have ISKCON news, and so many nice websites, the Guru's websites. Giriraj Swami, he puts a lot of things on Facebook. So there's a lot of transcendental things, but you got to be careful of those things that aren't transcendental, because they can bring us down. So Anuka Yasha Sankapa, Pratiko Yasha Varjana, Brakshishititi, to accept Krishna as our only protection. Prabhupada said that we should always be praying to Krishna for protection. And there's a verse in the srimadbhagavatam, Papanam Paimamisha Bitam Ritu Gahardavat. And Krishna tells Uddhava, this is how you should pray to me, in the form of the deity. Please protect me, who am trying to surrender unto you. I'm very fearful of this material existence, standing as I am in the mouth of death. This is the prayer. How to pray to Krishna. Please protect me. Because we're in Maya's kingdom. Prabhupada told the big sannyasis in GBC, at any moment you could fall down. And we see so many of them have fallen down. So this material nature is very powerful. Daivi hesu gunam mayi mama maya jarati. Mama viye pipodyante maya mitam jarati. It's very powerful. But if we take shelter of Krishna, katanchana smate yasman duskaram sukaram vishmate vitaritangashat shi chaitanya namavitan. It's described by Krishnadas Kaviraj that if one remembers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then very difficult things become very easy. The most difficult thing is to surrender to Krishna. But if we just remember Lord Chaitanya, he helps us. He's the most merciful incarnation of Krishna. But if one forgets Lord Chaitanya, then very easy things become very difficult. So we have to remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And therefore, before we chant Hare Krishna, we chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Because Lord Chaitanya, he is the most merciful incarnation. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaur Dasai Nama. He is freely giving out love for Krishna. When he was in South India, he was going around, he was doing Harinam all over. And it's described that he was sprinkling the minds of everyone with transcendental love of Godhead. This is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sprinkling the minds. This is what we need. Our minds are so dirty in Kali Yuga. They're so dirty. It's just so contaminated with lust and greed and anger and envy and so much contamination. But if we chant Hare Krishna, if we chant the Panchatattva, mantra, then our minds get cleansed. Yeah. Prabhupada said actually this Panchatattva mantra is more powerful than the Hare Krishna mantra. So a devotee asked Prabhupada, then Prabhupada, why aren't we chanting the Panchatattva mantra on our beads instead of Hare Krishna? Anybody know what Prabhupada said? Prabhupada said, because Lord Chaitanya told us chant Hare Krishna. And he chanted Hare Krishna. And he was so dynamic, he would go to a village and he would chant, and you can imagine, or try to imagine, such a scene. He's 7 feet tall, golden, and he's dancing and chanting. No one's ever seen such a thing before. So people would just get absorbed in chanting Hare Krishna. In South India, so many people became devotees. So they would hear Lord Chaitanya chanting, then they would go to their village, and they would get everybody to chant. Yeah. So in this way, Krishna consciousness was spreading all over South India by the potency of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's just like if you have a live copper wire, electric wire, and someone touches that, he gets shocked. Yeah. And someone touches him, he gets shocked. And someone touches him, he gets shocked. Someone touches him, he gets shocked. I don't know how far it can go. I guess it depends on how many watts are in there. But so similarly, if someone is Krishna conscious, someone comes in contact with him, they get this, just like Prabhupada says in the purport, that the pure devotee, he does not have a material body because of his being surcharged with the identical interest of Krishna. And what is that interest? To spread Krishna consciousness. He does not have a material body because of his being surcharged with the current of Krishna's identical interest. Yeah. And Prabhupada, he had that as well. Like, he's pure devotee, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of Krishna. So when he went to New York City for a year, there was no connection. And Prabhupada's patient. This is another divine quality of Prabhupada. Patient for a year. Imagine go out in book distribution for a year, no one takes a book. Yeah. I've talked to devotees that went out all day long and didn't distribute a book. I mean, that'd be tough in itself. Just one day. Happened to you one day? Not one book went out. Yeah, I mean, that was a tough day, huh? Purification, right? Like sometimes you go out and have a tough day and you come back and, well, how was it out there today, Prabhu? Well, it was one of those purifying days. Those are the most purifying days, isn't it? You really take shelter of Krishna. So then Prabhupada, Hayagriva came, he saw him on the street. Oh, you're from India? Yes, I'm from India. And then Kirtan, and from then it just increased. Then they got, and Mukunda Maharaj came. So many devotees, from then it just increased and increased. They caught the current. They caught the current coming from Prabhupada. And then he would send them around. Like Mukunda Maharaj, it's interesting that he was leaving New York and he just nonchalantly said to Prabhupada, "Yeah, I'm going to go to India. I'm going to stop off in San Francisco and go to India." "Oh, okay." Prabhupada said, "Okay." "Well, when you stop in San Francisco, let me see if you could start something." "Yeah, okay. Just no big plans or anything." "Yeah, all right. Just Prabhupada said it just off the top of his head, and Mukunda said, "Yeah, okay. Well, maybe we'll see. Do something." No plan at all. So then they went to San Francisco. Him and his wife and Yamuna. They went to San Francisco, and Sam was there, and I think Greg and Malati, I don't know what her name, Malini, I think her name was. So when they saw their old friends, and they were shocked to see that Mukunda had gotten married, because back then that was old-fashioned. Get married? We don't get married. Just have fun. Just married. But they were married. They were shocked. They got married. Couldn't believe it. And they stopped taking LSD. Malaine offered them, just like when you go to the temple or you go to someone's home, they offer you want some prasadam? So what they would do, the hippies, you want some LSD? That was like a way of showing hospitality. You want some LSD? No, that's okay. We don't take LSD anymore. You don't take LSD anymore? You don't want to take any intoxication? They were shocked. But they were happy. Mukunda was happy. And his wife was happy. Yamuna, they were all happy. So they thought, well, maybe there's something there. So they also started following. And they went to San Francisco. They started a center. And so many people were coming. They were distributing prasadam. So then they thought, now it's ready. It's time for Prabhupada to come. So they called Prabhupada and said, "Prabhupada, we have a lot of people here chanting Hare Krishna and taking prasadam. It would be good for you to come. We'll send you a ticket." Prabhupada had never been on a plane. So they flew him to San Francisco. And we can't imagine how much pleasure Prabhupada must have experienced when the plane landed and went to the gate. 50 devotees were chanting Hare Krishna. That was back when there was no, you didn't have to go through these metal detectors. There wasn't near as much security. Apparently there was no security back then. There was no terrorist yet. So they were all right there at the gate. The doors open, Prabhupada hears the loud chanting. They're all youth, 20 years old, and they're loud chanting of Hare Krishna. Prabhupada has been in ecstasy. And then he came off the plane, and they're all giving him gifts. They're all giving him gifts. And he's handing them back. He's getting a gift, and he would hand back. He would hand them back to him. So from that time on, wherever Prabhupada would go, there would already be devotees there. Sent them to Australia, sent them to England, to Germany, Italy, all over. They would get this current from Prabhupada, and they would go, and the current would leave from them to other people, and they would catch it. So this is how the movement spread all over the world. He wanted 108 temples. So he was sending San Francisco, he sent devotees to Los Angeles, all over, Oregon. But there's one place where when Prabhupada went there was no devotees. Russia. Went to Russia, Syama Sundar. This is really interesting. Now, they knew this is a communist country, you can't take any books. But Malati, she put a Bhagavad Gita in Syama Sundar's bag without him knowing. So when they were going through the checkpoint, They opened the bag. The communist security opened the bag and saw this book. What's this? And when Prabhupada saw that, and Syamasundar saw that, Syamasundar thought, oh my God, they're going to send me to Siberia. I may never be free again. This thought came to his mind. So they picked up the book, and when he picked it up, he opened it up, and all these pictures came flying out of the book, and the security person, he thought, oh no, sorry about that. He picked up the pictures and he put it back in the book, and he put the book back, and no, that was it. They never gave him a hard time. They felt bad because they allowed the pictures to fall to the ground. And that book is what was left with that one Russian devotee. He spoke and read English, so they left that Bhagavad Gita with him, and so many people read that one Bhagavad Gita. And from that one Bhagavad Gita and that one person, Krishna consciousness spread underground in Moscow, and gradually went to St. Petersburg and all over. And it was spreading so much that the government became worried. And eventually they said three things will stop communism: Western dress, Western music, and Hare Krishna. Yeah. This is like a statement in I think some big magazine or something. And of course eventually it fell. I'm sure a lot of that had to do with Srila Prabhupada preaching. So here in this verse, it's also mentioned that Krishna, he magnifies when he sees some little service from a devotee, then he's so pleased. He magnifies. This is the nature of a devotee as well. Pure devotee, he sees some service, then he appreciates it, he magnifies that. And Radhanath Swami is probably the best. He knows, I've never seen anybody that was able to glorify devotees like him. He could glorify some new bhakta. He can give an hour class, glorifying some new bhakta about all the service he has done. It's like amazing. But no criticism. He magnifies the service of devotees, but he doesn't criticize. And Prabhupada says that this is a symptom of a pure devotee, that he's free of the tendency to criticize others. This is the general tendency, because we're fault finders. This is the nature of conditioned souls. So they criticize. So this is one of the symptoms of a devotee. He's given up this tendency to criticize others, but he magnifies their service. So this is something that we can pray for. We also, just like we hear here how Prita Maharaj is praying for protection, so we can also pray for this mentality of appreciating devotee service. Feeling gratitude for service done by devotees. And one other thing I wanted to mention here. It's mentioned that he is that Krishna, he's Dinabandhu. He's friend of the poor. And what's really interesting here is that Prita Maharaj, he's a Shaktivesh avatar. He's an avatar of management, perfect management, incarnation of management, the ability to manage. But he's a Shaktivesh avatar. but he's praying for protection. So this is something we can also pray for. Pray for protection from the Krishna's illusionary, and pray for this ability to appreciate devotees. And we can pray to Krishna also to give us mercy, because we're also poor. I mean, Prithu Maharaj, he's the Saktavesh avatar. What is our position? We're so poor. Lacking in purity. I guess I should speak for myself. I mean, I don't know where you Prabhus are at. Much more elevated than me. But we can pray for divine qualities of the Vaishnavas. This is what attracts Krishna. And this is where real wealth is. There's one interesting pastime Prabhupada tells of a student, a Gurukul student, who was at the Gurukul. And the Guru wanted to put on a festival. It was a Shraddha ceremony for his father. So he wanted all the students to bring something for the festival, some prasad. So he was asking the different students, what are you going to bring, what are you going to bring? And one of the boys was very poor, and he said, I don't know, I'll have to ask my mother. So he went back and explained that there's going to be a big festival, and he has to bring something. Is there anything we can bring? And she said, no, we have nothing. We're so poor, we can't give anything. So he said, well, what am I going to do? All the other children, they're bringing something for this festival. And she said, well, you can pray to Krishna. He's known as Dinabandhu. He's friend of the poor. So he said, well, where do I find Dinabandhu? And she said, well, saintly people, they go to the forest and they meditate. And he reveals himself if they're sincere. So the boy thought, oh, okay. So then she went off to do her chores, and he took that seriously. He went off into the forest. And he's calling out, Dinabandhu! 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 He's calling out all day long. Dinabandhu! Dinabandhu! So then Krishna came to him and said, yes, my name is Dinabandhu. He was so sincere, just absorbed in calling out to Krishna. He came, yes, my name is Dinabandhu. What is it you want? Oh, Dinabandhu, it's so nice to see you. Please help me. Tomorrow we have a big festival, and I have to bring something. My guru has asked me to bring something. I don't have anything. We're very poor. So Krishna said, bring this cup of yogurt, dahi. And the boy said, oh, Dinabandhu, this is only one cup. There's so many boys and there's so many people. And Dinabandhu said, no, you'll see, it's okay. Have some faith in Dinabandhu. So he said, okay. So he went to the festival, and all the boys brought so many things, and he went to his guru and said, we're very poor, this is all I could bring is this one cup, dahi. And the guru became upset. What? One cup for all these? What is that going to do? So he hit the cup. It fell down and poured out. The dahi poured out, and the boy felt bad, and he picked up the cup. But then he saw, it's full. He said, Gurudev, look. It's spilled out, but it's full. And the guru was like shocked. He said, he saw the yogurt on the ground, now it's full again. And he poured it out, and became full again. Purna. So he said, oh, this is a transcendental cup. So he told all the boys, come, get dahi. He would pour it, he would fill up, and he would pour it. So this is Krishna. He's the master of mystics. Yeah. Yatra Yogeshvara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurjan, Tatra Shiva, Jayobhutir, Javani, Tiramatirama. He's the master of mystics. I was explaining to one student how this creation is so amazing. And these bodies are so amazing. I mean, think about it. Some liquid goes into a womb, and a person grows. And the body is like a machine. Yeah. But all the parts are growing at the same time. It's like we have these car manufacturers, and they're on an assembly line, and one thing is put on at a time. It's not all put on at the same time. Just gradually it comes together. Right? Nothing is put on at the same time. But here we have this amazing machine. All the parts, the bones, the organs, everything is coming together all at once. And then it comes out. And sometimes a beautiful woman. Yeah. Of course, a baby at first, but then it turns out to be a beautiful woman. Or a handsome man, very intelligent, very creative. Yeah. This is Krishna's mystic ability. It's amazing. But people are so foolish, they think it's just by chance. Amazing. So, stop there. Any question or comment? Or reflection?
Sometimes Prabhupada would refer to like ISKCON members being like kind of like the like army, like Gornatai's army going out to fight Maya, these types of things. So you were mentioning earlier in your talk about how in order to fight, Arjuna had to be angry. So how do we relate that to our, preaching or our spreading Krishna consciousness devotees? Because you can't really fight unless you're angry. So how do we understand that in relation to us? Trying to spread Krishna consciousness.
Well, the Sankirtan movement is a peaceful war. It's a peaceful war against Maya. Yeah, if we get angry at the non-devotees, it won't leave a very good impression. And this is the golden rule of book distribution. Everyone leaves with a good impression. That's the golden rule. And if we go out on book distribution with good qualities, with compassion, with tolerance, then people feel that and they appreciate it. Yeah. I was distributing books one time in the Miami airport, and the place where we were distributing, there's seats right behind us from where we were distributing. The people would come in front and there were seats behind us. So one businessman came to me and he started shouting at me. You guys are just a bunch of cheaters, you're just a cult, you're just ripping the people off, just going on and shouting at me. But I didn't flinch, I just stood there and he's shouting, I just let him blow off his anger and then he left. Maybe just a few seconds later, one Indian man, he saw that, he came up to me and he said, that was amazing. And he gave me a donation. I tolerated that, he appreciated it. So we're also being watched by people. So to be tolerant, to be compassionate and friendly, people appreciate. So and by practicing Krishna consciousness, these qualities of a Vaishnava gradually they manifest. Like there was one instance where one Indian man was criticizing the movement, and this devotee became angry and arguing with him. He got really angry, and he said to this devotee, this Indian man said, "What is this? You're supposed to be a saint. You're angry at me." He said, "Well, previously, if you would have done this, I would have punched you many times. But now, because I'm taking to Krishna consciousness, I'm just angry at you. I'm just using my words. Otherwise, I would have you on the ground punching you out." So the man said, "Oh, okay, so that your process does work, okay." So he gave a donation, took a book. Okay. Anything else? Srila Prabhupada ki jai.